Back pain is the worst deal breaker and the most common issue and pain when it comes to inline skating and inline skaters. I personally dealt with it for years. Thankfully, there are many things you can do prior to your skating session or competition to avoid back pain and prevent it. In this video, I'm gonna go through those things you can do before and after you put on your skates, before you start your actual skating activity. They're just gonna relieve your pain so much. Trust me, it works. You can play around with these. I used them for years in my own professional career as an Olympic skater and a part of the rollerblade world team. So hope you can use these. Feel free to share it with your friends and even leave a comment if there are some things, ideas that I overlooked and that you want to share with me and the rest of the skating world out there. Now, if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please take a look at it. My name is Thorup. I've been inline skating basically every single day since the day I was born, and I've been sharing all of that with more than 100,000 people, subscribers here on YouTube. Maybe you want to be the next one. I also have some premium videos. You can donate $2 to the channel and become a member, and you can see all of those as well. So please take a look at that. But for now, just enjoy this video and go test these things out. I'm pretty sure it'll make it more comfortable to skate. We're starting off with things that are basically in the whole field of physiotherapy. So small things that can just activate your nervous system in the right way and make you ready for that strain that it will be on the back. Inline skating is a tricky thing because unlike weightlifting sports or most things, whenever you want to lift anything heavy, you do want a round back. The key to not constantly holding your back and using a lot of energy, basically like planking without the arms, is to have your hips under, so your center of gravity move forward. So it's really like you can be standing up straight for hours without any pain. So that's the same idea of skating. So keep that in mind. I made so many videos in the right position, so we're not gonna dive into that today. These are just gonna be prehab warm-up exercises specifically for back pain as an inline skater. Now, the first of these is a strange one. It is basically a nervous system trigger thing where you really activate your back, and it takes very little and you're gonna see how much strain that actually gives you. It is a thing I would recommend you do over and over and over. I use it before every skating session because it is a thing you can train and being more relaxed in that position. Obviously, the reason we are tense in our back is because we're not relaxed, and this one can go a long way putting you in that mindset and also activating your whole body in that way. So I'm just gonna demonstrate here. So a big part of that back pain comes from the glutes, the fatigue here, and the fatigue in the lower back. But you do want to activate your glutes and hanging those, and you want to make that connection from skate, leg, and to the back. So this one is an exercise where you start with a leg straightened like this, hands on the back, and then you slowly just let the head, let the back fall down. You're gonna suddenly feel a lot of nervous strain here. And as that happens, you trigger it the right amount. So you follow the leg down here. I can't go much further than this. It's gonna pull a lot here. So you just relieve the leg as you move down. And then you do the same, but the other way around. So at first you start with the leg up here, slowly fall down, and then follow it as you feel that tension in the hamstrings and under. And then you do the same here, where you lift the leg, and when you start feeling that tension here throughout, you lift with it. And the same, slowly relax here. Oh, feeling the tension, let go down. So you obviously want to do it on both legs. You will be surprised how much you actually feel that and how loose it's going to be after and how relaxed you're going to be in the lower back. I do 5 of each on each leg before each skating session. So that's definitely a thing I would recommend. Now we're staying in that same thing, activating the hamstring, the lower butt, and that nervous system up to here. So often when we stretch the hamstring, we don't actually stretch the hamstring and the glutes, we stretch a lot of other things. So already the fact that you reach for your foot here, it's gonna stretch here, instead of actually stretching this and this where we do feel that back pain from. So for this one, it is basically a hamstring stretch, but very gentle. So instead of using a bunch of things here, relax, and then just like before, let your head fall down towards. And when you sense that triggers here, triggers up here, you feel that same connection from the back here down to the glutes. That is where you start flipping your leg in and out, and you are gonna realize how many nervous strings that connect all the way up to your back. So if you manage to loosen this up before you go skate, it's gonna be very pleasant compared to what you used to. I usually do 5 slow rolls from inside to outside, both legs, and then that should be getting closer to comfort. Okay, so one thing that very few people are aware of is that the strings we have here, the nervous strings here, the muscles we have here in the lower back are also attached to the hip flexor here in front. So despite what you might think right away, if you are tight here, so I see a lot of skaters going in and out like that, but not actually having a smooth, relaxed recovery back here. So that's also gonna make it harder on the back, because when you are tight here, these muscles are gonna pull down here, and that's where it's gonna get really tense for the back. So in order to relax this and not feel that strain, you need to loosen up the hip flexor. So most people simply just do this. I do think a much better way of targeting that, because we do want the pull here and not just this up here. So get down in this position, get your arm over, and then lean back as it is here and relax with the whole body. And it is pretty wild how you feel that going from here to the lower back. So I hold this for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and you can really feel this as well as the lower back gets activated. And then I obviously do the same. So think of it as a 3-step thing. Here, and then up with that, lean over, and then backward. It isn't a balance exercise, so if you need anything to hold on to, if it gets shaky, again, it's just activation and stretching. So no need to make it a balance exercise. You can use whatever remedies you need to maintain balance. So one more way to connect the glute, the back, and activate that part is this exercise, where you lay down on the side, relax as much as you can, and then you lift this up. But instead of lifting it straight in the air and using the obliques, the side here, you lift it up really by isolating the gluteus medius here and pointing the toe down, as you can see. Do your best to really just use this part, and you're gonna realize how that will activate the glute, but also the lower back. And when these are fired up, all those vibration, all those bouncing, or all that bouncing, you can take that off instead of doing. It will go into the glute, and then that's also better for your skating, because it's gonna go straight into the ground and create speed. Now those are just the 4 exercises I recommend you do before you put on your skates. Now when you're on your skates, I'll show a bit of skating here so you can see what that looks like. I think 2 exercises that are really good to use here is this one, the monkey arms, where you really relax your back. By relaxing your back, it doesn't mean tilt your head down, it just means loosen up the arms and get a round back so this is not tense. Again, if your upper body just hangs there with your hips under, it will never really fatigue. Ultimately, your legs are gonna blow up, but your back itself will not fatigue if it's just hanging. Otherwise, how would I be sitting here for hours? How would you go to school or work? The same idea, that round back, but the hips are under and the hips are carrying. So do this monkey drill. You can loosen up your arms, just feel it, but still having that pressure and the weight on an active hip. And once you tried the monkey exercise, the next one is super low. That one's also almost gonna stretch your back, because you sit so low that your lower back is gonna round a little to not be straight up in the air. Try and get your knees out over there. This is a skating stretching exercise, basically range of motion plus. Once you've done that, normal skating is gonna be super chill. And these are also great exercises. If you skate a couple of minutes with each of these, you are gonna be very warm, and a warm athlete is a better athlete, and that'll allow you to execute better skating. So those 4 stretches beforehand, these 2 inline exercises, and then I am very confident your back is gonna have a much greater time going for your next marathon or whatever distance you're looking to do. I do wanna mention how big an impact equipment also has when it comes to this. If you do not have the right equipment for your level, there's no golden package that will be comfortable, then it's almost inevitable to feel back pain at some point because you're not comfortable. And this could be anything from the right size of wheels. I mean, if we go through a skate from top to bottom, obviously the cuff, the size of your boots should match your level. If you do not have strong angles, if you're not a smooth skater, knowing where to put your body weight, well, your ankles are gonna collapse in or out, and you're gonna use so much energy making up for that with the hips, with the back, and that's immediately gonna be hard because you can't relax in that and just let your body sink into the skate and the wheels and the ground. So obviously you want that to slowly get shorter as you get better at skating. We have things like the roll blade, macro blade, the most popular skate in the world is obviously a good one to start with. and then smooth segue into the rev, which is a semi-speed, and then ultimately a speed boot, as I use myself in all the videos you've probably seen here. Those are faster if you know how to manage or how to steer those, and if you have the strength and skills to maneuver those. Next thing is the wheels. Softer wheels are gonna absorb some of that vibration, which is gonna be a back relief. Obviously, they don't have the same role. I think the X-Firm Hydrogen Pro, that's a perfect in-between, so I would use those. I do use those. And same goes for the size. 4 wheels, more contact points, better maneuverability, so you don't have to twist with your body. And again, less impact when it comes to the back. So 4 wheels is a little more comfortable. Smaller wheels, obviously way more comfortable. You're not as shaky, you're not as far off the ground, so that's gonna be smoother and better for the back. But again, it's like a bigger gear, so you can go faster if you are good at skating. If you skate your marathons in under an hour 20, an hour 15, you just want to ramp up the wheel size and go for 3 wheels. That's what the pros are using. That's what I use if I go for races, or when I go for races. And then the final one is not really equipment, but it is adjustment of your equipment. Your frame position is probably one of the main things that can fatigue your back and just fatigue you in general, because if that's not perfectly solid under you and you have to make up for an incline or tilting to the inside or the outside, that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of small muscles that are not necessarily super trained, especially if you're not from skating, growing up on skates. Even if you're physically fit, you're strong, your cardiovascular system is on point, those small muscles can get shaky, and that's super hard. And to a lot of people, even ex-pros coming back to the sport for a fun time, that will be the limiting factor. So make sure that when you're on your skates, standing relaxed, they simply just line up. They don't tilt to the inside or tilt to the outside. You would want to be on top. And then as you skate, it simply just feels like you always push straight down, even when you're leaning in a double push or a single push. And that's gonna make it so much more fun. And yeah, that's the thing I would play around with. Move it very little. Everything new feels awkward at first, and then test it out for a few days or a few skating sessions. Make sure to put some stickers so you know exactly where your frame or your blade, if you're an ice skater, was positioned. And then, yeah, move little by little and you'll find the sweet spot. I'm confident. I hope this was helpful. I hope you want to stay tuned for more videos. Become a premium member. There's a lot of videos. I enjoy this, basically how I spend my off days as I train for my 3rd Olympic Games, and I want to keep doing that. So the more support I get from you guys, the more time I have, because I don't have to do other spare time jobs and sponsor commitments as much as just making cool content and sharing what made my life a lot of fun. So see you for the next one, and I hope your backs are gonna be happy about this. Over and out.